I came into Huntsville, Texas on my way to Texas Legends Steakhouse in Madisonville, where I had a gig. Huntsville is about 70 miles north of Houston. It takes about an hour of a drive to get there. And one of the things that you'll quickly notice about Huntsville is that they're really big on Sam Houston. Not just the big old statue of him that you see while you're driving in off 45, but photos, or I should say murals of him on the wall. And they even have the Sam Houston State University here. So the university is named after him, and he was a resident here in Huntsville, so that makes sense. So because they got that university here, it's an interesting town because it's a college town, but at the same time, it's got this small historic town vibe to it. Now, when I came in, they had a festival going on. They call it the Fair on the Square. There was tons of booths set up. It seemed like a really big event with a lot of people out there. So you could walk around and check out those sidewalks, check out the streets. It was all centered around Walker County Courthouse, that little square, and all the offshoots of the square there, where you could find antique stores and walk around inside those antique stores and find some cool things. Now, there were a lot of people inside, so I didn't walk around too much, but I did see that they existed. And I saw a bunch of restaurants around the area too, some bars, places for drinks. One of the notable ones was Sam's Table. It looked like a pretty cool place. And a lot of interesting structures and buildings around the area too, so I enjoyed checking that out. They had a battle of the bands going on, and I just kind of popped by, so I didn't actually see any of the bands playing, but that was happening. Eventually, I went and found some food at a really popular local spot called Mr. Hamburger. This is an old school burger joint, originating in 1959 in the area, and they kind of commemorate that by putting a bunch of news clippings on the wall there inside. You can see there's a clipping about inmates expecting to sell out the Texas Prison Rodeo. That Texas State Prison is not too far from here. So I got a piece of meat sandwiched between two pieces of bread at Mr. Hamburger. Now, I mentioned how Mr. Hamburger was right by the Texas State Prison, and so I ended up driving up right alongside that prison, which was pretty wild to see something like this just right there in the kind of middle of town. You got these really big brick walls that are keeping people inside, and you're just kind of parking right next to them, walking, driving along them right there in town. Now, one of the places that I found and that I had heard about was the Jolly Fox. So I heard that this was the place where the students kind of all get together and you can get a real sense for that vibe. It's like a clubby scene, lots of energy, staying up late on a Friday and Saturday night. I didn't have a chance to check it out this trip, but I did see that Cody Canada was playing there. So they got some big acts coming in, some real concerts that you could see. Now, ultimately, I made it to Texas Legends Steakhouse. This was a really big room, a really cool looking building right there on the square in the town of Madisonville. They had a nice stage and some big old speakers there for some good sound. A lot of folks in the audience and a supportive audience there.
And the music flows from the speakers, but the band won't take requests. They got a bar there down the alley, and oh man, they sing some shit. But if you hit 'em up at the right time, before the drunks get their way, they got a jukebox and a bartender, and she knows all the right things to say. But it's far from those pawn shops and the places that you shouldn't go. Far from the other side of the river, we're so far from the liquor store. We're so gone. For so long we stumble down the street, far away from you, far away from me.
Now, I'm posting a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel here about the music scene all around Texas and the experience of touring around Texas. So be sure to check out those videos on my channel. Hit that subscribe and the bell button to stay tuned on my posts here. Let me know in the comments what else I should check out, and thanks for your support.